Here's what you said. KS from Arizona. The IRS is not mailing tax forms? How dare the government take action to reduce costs? What? I don't get that at all, but let's move on.
I think she might be being sarcastic.
Oh, sarcastic. All right. Joining us now is Dick Harpootlian, a litigation lawyer, Ben Ferguson, syndicated radio host at Icon Network, and CNBC's Dennis Neal. My God, Dennis Neal, what's wrong with electronic payment of your taxes?
Well, you know, I just want to start off by saying I love the IRS, and I certainly don't want an extra visit from them.
Right.
But the IRS strikes me as one of the most inefficient government organizations. 45% of homes don't pay federal taxes anymore, so you already lost 45% of your customers. But then look at some numbers. This $10 million they saved by not sending out forms, is it a drop in the bucket? It's a $12.6 billion budget for 2011, so you're talking saving $1 on every $1,260 the IRS spends. It's not worth it, and yet, in 1990, only 4 million electronic returns. Now it's 96 million, probably 100 million in 2011. And so you have far less work for physically reviewing the stuff. Where are the budget cuts? They're still spending $12.6 billion a year.
Ben, does everyone have a computer? I mean, is that what we're assuming here? Does everyone? I mean, does your grandmother have a computer that she can file her taxes on?
That's my point. I mean, first of all, this is a publicity stunt for them to say, look how much money we're saving you. That's the first main thing. But even more than that, what bothers me is how the government, when they do something, they do it just sweepingly. They never look at it and go, hey, maybe seniors are the mass majority of those that still file by paper and by mail. Maybe we should have we are no longer going to mail out to people, under the age of this, or say, look, certain people over 55,
they get in trouble for that.
May not. But I mean, the reality is, my grandparents, they're not going to e-file. They're not even going to think about it. They're not going to go online to print off a form because they don't have a printer at home. So I mean, they could be smart about this and say, anyone 55 or older or 65 or older, we're still going to mail to you. Younger people, you're going to have to go online. But this is, again, the government incompetence right here.
You know, they can't win. They can't win. Hey, Dick, let me just ask you. I got a better idea. Why don't we scrap the entire tax code? Simplify it, lower the rates, broaden the base, get out of the business, reduce the IRS power so we don't have to have these little minuscule arguments. Hello? Dick?
Well, I mean, I think that'd be a great idea. For a flat tax. Yes.
That's the ultimate solution. Yes, we can.
Okay, I'd do away with it, go to a flat tax, but then, Larry, there'd be no incentive for capital gains. There'd be none of this using the tax code to stimulate business. It'd be, and unfortunately, we're so wed to that, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. But let me say this, $10 million may not be a lot in the context of the IRS budget, but it's a lot to me and it's a lot to you to step in the right direction. And look, if seniors want a form, they can go down to the post office and get one like they used to do before they mailed them out.
Guys,
this is a great step. Everybody's going paperless. IRS ought to go paperless. This is
a big problem with federal government today. So much is simply about the mere symbol. It's when Obama came into office and he started with some kind of freeze, and he's going to save $100 million on a $1 trillion budget or something. And it's all about the symbol and not enough about really doing. I want to know why the IRS, if it's 100 million electronic forms, why have you closed down more processing centers?
Oh, stop it. This is so bad. Dennis Neal, I'm ashamed of you on this. They are trying to cut costs, and they are trying to modernize with electronic technology, and Larry, a technology reporter, are opposed to it? That's the goofiest thing I've ever heard.
It's a fine thing to do, Larry.
But you can still say the electronic thing is good.
Larry, it's a fine thing to do. Do it fine, but it's a gnat on the backside of an elephant, man. That's the problem.
But it's all about the PR stunt here. It's all about the PR stunt. I mean, this is about getting headlines so that we'll talk about it when it hurts older people.
Okay, Dick, your turn.
It's a good first step. Good first step. Mao Zedong, as Larry knows, said every 1,000-mile journey begins with the first step. If we're going to get this budget under control, quoting Mao on the show, we're going to have to take that first step. $10 million here, $10 million there.
I don't know what Mao said.
And Dennis, I'd like to go back to Larry's
I have no idea what Mao said.
I mean, regardless of whether it's saving money or not, I mean, this is the way of the world. I mean, we were just talking about Barnes & Noble a moment ago. Everything is going electronic. There are places like Singapore, where I used to live. We all had to file electronically, and guess what? It was pretty easy and pretty simple to be able to sit down and learn how to use the computer.
Dennis Neal sounds like a Luddite
even older generations are going to be able to do this.
You're a Luddite.
I'm just saying it's kind of focusing on the wrong thing. It's the tiniest thing. I want them to try an outsourcing experiment, Larry. I think they ought to outsource part of the tax collection to Intuit or something.
Larry, here's my question. How many people are going to go buy a Kindle for their grandparents that are 80 years old? About as many people as grandparents are going to go online to file their taxes.
So you phase it in.
They still want a book. They still want a newspaper. How many older people read newspapers online? Barely any of them. They want to hold it. They want to feel it. They want to look at it, and they don't want to have to go online to do it. They got to be smarter about this and say, not everybody is on the internet like most of us are.
Yeah, so you phase it in. You don't just do it immediately and say everyone has to do electronic.
Ben,
you just phase it in.
Scrap the code, Ben. Scrap the code. That's the optimal position.
Okay, we're going to leave it there, guys.
Code.
Thanks. That was a lot of fun, Andy.
Thanks, guys.
Luddites.